holding onto the door. We may have to tuck and roll out of this car.
Girl, now wait just a minute. I've got something to say. You should hear it. Oh.
Hey, y'all.
Hey. How y'all doing?
I feel like a dog walking with the tail between its legs. Like, it's been a minute. It has, and I apologize for that. I really wanted to just come back on and jump right in without giving y'all an explanation, because honestly I don't even really think I have one, other than I started a hair company. So that's where I've been. I apologize for being gone so long, but that's what I was doing. I was also working on a show for months and months and months, so I just didn't have time. But no more excuses. I'm back. I'm gonna give y'all some content. Another reason I was missing is because a bitch was getting kidnapped in Mexico. Love that for me. All jokes aside, this is really a cautionary tale. I am just putting the story out here to keep you guys safe, because shit went down, okay? It was crazy. I'm not kidding. This is not clickbait. This was actually a situation that happened 3 weeks ago now. I have to share. One more thing before I jump in. I'm trying to gather my thoughts together because it was like a lot. So I'm trying to get it together. I don't have notes or anything. I'm just literally talking from my memory. So bear with a bitch, okay? Subscribe, please. I would love it if you guys subscribe. I'm gonna actually push out more content. I know y'all gotta like trust me. We're like in the dating period again. Put your toe in the water and see. I get it, I understand. But like this video if you like it. And if you would like to subscribe, go ahead. But again, I already know. So the story took place about 3 weeks ago. And honestly, if you know me in real life, you've probably already heard the story, because when we got back, we were like,
we have to tell everyone because this is crazy, okay?
It was my friend's birthday, and it was a big group of us going. So for the purpose of the story, I'm gonna call the guy whose birthday it is, I'm gonna call him Tom. He's so not a Tom. Tom got an Airbnb, and since it was a big group of us, he broke us down into groups getting to Mexico. We all didn't fly in on the same flight. We were all coming from different places. He had about 5 groups of people coming in, and there were maybe 2 to 3 people in each group that were gonna ride together from the airport to the house, okay? He had hired a driver, everything was good, gravy. So I flew in alone, but I got there at the same time as my roomie. So my roomie Brooke, y'all know Brooke, so I can call her by her name. So in my group, it was supposed to be me, Brooke, and I'll call my other friend B. I'll call her B. So me, Brooke, and B in group 3, right? And there was another guy who was supposed to be in our group, but he flew into a different terminal. So we were group 3, shawty, what's up? We gonna show up to the crib. We the tequila crew, pulling up with the drinks. You know, I had my duty-free bottle. I arrived in Mexico, I think it was around 4:30ish when I got there. Brooke arrived at like 3. She was still in the airport. You know how like sometimes you just have a gut feeling that things aren't gonna go right? I had that when I was on the plane, but I was like,
nah, you tripping, it's whatever.
And because I hate listening to that gut feeling, you know what I mean? Because sometimes I really do just be tripping. So anyways, got off the plane, immediately go into customs. Y'all, customs was insane. And I've been to Cancun twice before, and it's never been like this. I don't know what was going on that day, but it was some shit, okay? If I have a video, I'll post it somewhere in here to show y'all just how crazy it was down there. It was like crazy. So anyways, I just wanted to bring up how ready we were to get to the house. I'm not a solo traveler. I've never been overseas alone. I've been overseas with like my friends. There's always at least one other person that I know. Most of the time I fly in with them on my flight. So when I got off the plane and I'm in another country and there's nobody there, I'm like,
oh, I'm using my data plan, bitch.
like I have to call somebody. So I call Brooke and I'm like, hey, do y'all hear that? Is that a cricket? What is that? Sorry if that changed the light any bit, but I had to close the door. I don't know what's going on out there. So I call up Brooke and she's like, hey, B. And I'm like,
hey, B.
And she's like, hey, so I already got through customs, so I'm gonna wait for you, or do you want me to like wait outside?
and I was like,
no, please wait for me inside because I don't know what I'm doing. Thank you, bye.
I hang up with her and everything's good. I'm going through customs. It's taking forever. I I was literally in customs for like an hour and a half just trying to get out of the airport. It was that nuts. We finally get through customs. Mind you, B arrived an hour before Brooke's flight. So she had been there for a long time, poor thing. So she had already left the airport. Tom, I was about to call him his real name. Tom told us, everyone gather outside of a specific exit when you leave the airport. And I don't even want to say the exit because I am like a little bit scared, like just in case they watch this. I don't even want to say which exit it was. It was like the taxi line, the car line, the shuttle line. It's like one of those lines. He was like, go into this line, you know, when you leave the airport. So then I finally get through customs. I'm with Brooke. We're walking outside. As we walk outside, we see B, and then we see another guy that's kind of next to her outside the gate. And he's like, Brooke, is that our driver? I don't know. Brooke has our driver's number in her WhatsApp. She is communicating with the driver. So she was like, it's a little weird that he's calling my name when I'm like talking to him right now. But okay, whatever. We walk out of the gate. Then we realize he is not our driver. He's just one of those guys that's like, you know how when you're leaving the airport and they're like, get a timeshare, get this, go to this resort. You know, being aggressive like that. He was one of those guys, right? So at this point, B had been outside of the gate being harassed by this man for a couple hours. So she was over it, like attitude on swole, and I feel her. She was like, he needs to go away. So we're leaving. Brooke has gotten in contact with our driver, and the guy is like talking to us. Just talking. Go away, we're not interested. He's like,
No, take one of my drivers.
and we were like, no, we already have a driver, it's fine.
He's already staying at Airbnb. Do you have a driver? Do you have that?
Like just really up in our just like in our stuff, right? Sir, we have everything we need already.
Back up.
Please leave us alone. Our driver finally pulls up and we're like, okay, perfect. So we're walking to the car, okay, with our suitcases. Me, B, and Brooke. Finally. We are so happy that our driver's here because now this man can leave us alone. We're putting our suitcases in the car. He goes up to our driver and says something. No idea what he says, but he's basically like, you can't get in his car.
Bruh.
Why not? He was like, it's illegal, blah, blah, blah. How? What? Something's not right with what you're telling us. But whatever he said to the driver made our driver scared enough, I guess, to back up and drive away. Wow. We're outside of the airport, okay? I don't have Wi-Fi. Brooke doesn't have Wi-Fi. B doesn't have Wi-Fi. F you just stranded us at the airport. So then B is like, well, I want to speak to someone in charge. Who's in charge? And he goes,
I am in charge, sweetheart.
Excuse me?
what we're not gonna do is that, but okay. Okay, show us a badge. What, like, let me see a badge. He literally shows us a badge, you guys, that says manager, his name, and a picture of himself. That's it. It's literally a picture of him, and it just says manager and his name. And that's it. There are no symbols, there are no nothing. I'm like, I need to talk to somebody with a gun. We kind of split up. We're brainstorming. B goes back to the gate to try to get us back in. Because remember, we're outside of the airport now. So, you know, airports, you can't just go back inside. Unless you go in through departures and, like, get a new ticket and all that stuff like that. B is on the phone with Tom. Like, yo, we're stranded. What do we do? You guys, side note, I'm having such a hard time talking right now. I don't know if it's because I'm nervous. Like, my palms are sweating. I don't know. Like, reliving this story just gets me a little worked up. So sorry if I start stuttering.
But anyways.
We're split up. I go into the departures area. I see a lady there who has a full uniform on. I said,
¿Tú hablas inglés?
she said, yes, un poquito. I said, okay, perfect. As I was walking into the airport to talk to her, one of his little minions followed me in and starts whistling at me. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you, sir. Back up. The lady just looked at him, and I caught for a second, she just like looked at him like she was kind of nervous. I don't know. It was weird. But anyways, I just asked her if there is a shuttle that would take us from this terminal to the next terminal. Because Mind you, there's another friend who was at the next terminal. So we were like, okay, if we can get to that terminal and away from this guy, then we can figure it out. So I asked her if there's a shuttle that would take us over there. She said, yeah, it runs every 15 minutes. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna call manager, I'm gonna call him Pringle, okay? Pringle comes in and is like, oh yeah, see, I told you there's another shuttle coming. You said that there was a shuttle that's gonna come every 40 minutes or so. Anyways, she tells us the shuttle is coming every 15 minutes. We go outside and we're like, perfect. We're gonna wait here at the shuttle stop and wait for the next shuttle to take us to the next terminal. Pringle comes up to us and is just like,
Oh, well, don't think that you're gonna go to the next terminal and get into the car with that driver because we have cameras. Welcome to Mexico.
yeah, you got cameras. I don't see a problem with going to another terminal. Like, what are you doing? And then, as he's telling us this, he gets on his walkie-talkie, I guess to walkie-talkie the shuttle driver, because when I tell y'all, another shuttle did not appear. Another shuttle was not coming. And I was like, I don't know what kind of circus he's running over here, but this is the guy in charge of whatever operation they got going on out here. It may not be a legal one, but he is the one calling the shots. Regardless of what the law is, he's the one calling the shots, and that was scary. I'm gonna start throwing out red flags, because red flag number damn 3 by now, okay? So then there's a lady who works for him who has a lanyard on. There's no name of the company on the lanyard, okay? Because if there was a company, I feel like I would be able to give it to you guys, but I really don't. She just literally has on a lanyard with a picture of her face, and it has her name. And that's it. There's no logo. There's nothing that I can give you. She comes up to us and she's talking to us, right? And she's like, okay, well, if you take one of our drivers, she's really trying to sell us on taking one of his drivers to our Airbnb. And she's like, you know, if you take one of ours, then it's going to be 60. I think she said it was, basically, I don't remember the numbers exactly, but the way she phrased it made it to where she would prefer having pesos other than dollars. There is nowhere in the world that I know, like, you cannot tell me that you would rather have these pesos than the US dollar. It just didn't make sense. She was like, well, there's like a 20% conversion rate and blah, blah, blah. No. Something, that's red flag number 4, okay? At this point, red flag number 4. So anyways, we're going back and forth with her. We finally talk her down to her taking $60 US.
They're like, okay, cool. We'll get you the car. Come, just give us the $60.
No, we're not gonna give you the full 60 right now. We'll give you 20 here, and we'll give the 40 to the driver when we get to our location safely. Pringle is like, oh, great. I swear to you guys, a car appeared out of the fucking blue. And let me tell y'all, this car was so raggedy, so run down and raggedy. But, you know, we were so tired at this point. Like, okay, we're gonna pay them to take us to our location. Fine. When that car pulled up, she grabbed my suitcase and started running to the car, which should have been another red flag, because why are you so eager to get us into the car? But we didn't pay attention to that. We're just like, okay, whatever, we have the car. We're trying to get our stuff, catch our bearings. So she puts our suitcases in the trunk. We still keep our purses and our passports and stuff with us, and we get in the car. Brooke is in the front seat, B and I are in the back seat, okay? We get in, no AC. It's hot as you guys, it is so hot. Brooke is like, wow, no AC, $60 ride, huh? And she like rolls down the window. The guy is like, oh yeah, no AC. So we start driving, and as we start driving, my gut is like, we shouldn't be in this car. We really shouldn't be in this car.
Hey you guys, this is Future Editing Coco here, and I just realized I failed to mention why we couldn't get a taxi or rent a car, because I know that might be a question, like, why didn't y'all just rent a car or get a taxi? We had already exited out of a gate where there was absolutely no re-entry into the airport. We had already surpassed the rental car and taxi line options, so we were kind of shit out of luck with that. Also, although this company did not have logos or anything like that. They all had on matching uniforms, and we're literally right at the taxi line, but on the other side of the gate. So we figured maybe they're an independent car company. Okay, I just didn't want y'all to think we just hopping up in random people's car all willy-nilly. They were at the airport. They all had matching lanyards. There were no logos, but we were like, okay, maybe that's just a thing out here. But they had laminated binders with prices and all that stuff. So we were like, okay, maybe whatever. But anyways, okay, back to the story.
But we gonna try. We gonna see what happens, okay? We've driven for about 3 to 4 miles or so at this point. A light bulb went off in my head, and I was like,
So, did anybody give him the address to the house?
it was just like all of our light bulbs went off at the same time. Like, ooh, who gave him the address? Where are we going? So B leans forward and is like, sir, do you have the address to the house? And he said, oh, yeah, like very, like, yeah, I do. I should know that, but I don't know. So then B pulls it up in her phone and shows it to him. And he looks at it and he says, oh, okay, yeah. This don't seem right. Immediately, without even telling each other, we're trying to put the address into our Google Maps and Waze and all that, right? I have no signal. Absolutely none. She has no signal. Absolutely none. B, by the grace of God, literally had put the address in Waze and it popped up, y'all. It literally popped up. I can't even, that saved our lives, I swear. She puts it in. He's driving and it just says, make a U-turn. Keeps driving. Make a U-turn. She shows it to him. Sir, it's saying make a U-turn. And he's like, oh, no, I'm going faster way. I'm going faster way. No, we need to know where we're going. So at this point, we're getting loud. Like, no, turn this car around. Turn around. Like, because you know how it recalibrates? The farther you go in the wrong direction, it'll recalibrate to another direction. It literally just kept saying, turn around. Go the other way. Go back, bitch. Like, you're not going the right way. It just would not recalibrate. And mind you, when I stayed in Cancun the last couple times I went, we stayed on this same side of the island where all the resorts are. And I'll try to put a picture if I remember where we were in the direction we were driving. Turn around. Turn around. He's not turning around. So at this point, Brooke takes the $40 out of the cup holder and she's holding on to it, which prompted him to call Pringle. So at this point, he calls Pringle and is speaking Spanish. And y'all, I think I can understand Spanish pretty fluently.
But bitch, I couldn't understand nothing he was saying, okay?
He was just talking way too fast and I just couldn't catch it. And I felt really bad because I thought, like, 20 years of Spanish, I should know something, okay? But anyways, so he's talking to Pringle. We know the guy's real name and I don't even want to say it because it's just like, oh, it's just like, it makes me nervous. Just even talking about this makes me nervous. Like, are they watching me? I don't know. Then he gives the phone to Brooke. He's being so condescending and just like talking crazy.
He's like, no, y'all already giving me too many problems. He's going the faster way. You don't understand. Gas in Mexico costs so much. Blah, blah, blah.
Brooke was like, I honestly could care less. We just need to be sure that we know where we're going. Go the direction that's on our GPS. He needs to turn this car around.
No, he's taking you the faster way. She's like,
I don't care about faster. We honestly do not care. We just need to know where we're going.
alright, well, if anything, he can just bring you back to the airport.
And we were like, okay, that's fine. And she gives the phone to me and he's talking to me. He's like, oh, I don't want the money. Because he said something about the money. Honestly, at this point, I don't care about the money. I'm scared, y'all. I was so scared. I was like,
I don't care about the money. You can keep the money, but he needs to take us back to the airport.
he's like, okay, cool. Give the phone back to the driver. They talk a little bit more. Driver finally gets over into the left lane. Y'all, at one point when we were supposed to make that U-turn, he got over into the right lane. Like, as we're like yelling at him to turn around, he gets over into the right lane. And that's when we got so scared. B and I were we were holding on to the door. We may have to tuck and roll out of this car. At this point, we had driven, it was probably like 6 or 7 miles down the road because he kept not making the U-turn and he kept speeding up and going that way. So now we're like 6 or 7 miles away from the airport. Where are you going, sir? That's a long ways. This is not okay. Y'all know I love me some true crime and I had my duty-free tequila bottle with me. I was like, am I gonna have to like break this over this man's head? Like, I was really just trying to figure out what are our next survival mode. We went into survival mode, literally. Once Pringle convinces the driver to turn around, we turn around, we exhale a little bit and we're like, Whew, okay, cool. We're going back to the airport. Everything's gonna be okay. Whatever. B and I clocked that there's a Subway and a Pimex, which is their gas station. We noticed that like on our way back towards the airport. And we get maybe a mile from there. Okay, so we had gone, so here's the airport, right? We drove 8 miles this way. Turn around, maybe went 2 or 3 back this way. Maybe 2 miles back this way. That's where the gas station was, right? Drive another like half of that mile, okay? So mind you, the airport is still all the way over here. And we're here, okay? Just keep that in mind for a visual reference. I don't know why. Maybe it was because we were talking about how we need to get to the other terminal to get with. Something prompted him to call Pringle again. So he calls Pringle back. They're talking. He gives the phone to Brooke again. And Pringle tells Brooke, he's not taking you back to the airport. And Brooke said, excuse me, say what? Like, no. You said that he would take us back to the airport. He said,
No, he's gonna take you to your location that's on your GPS. That's where he's gonna take you.
and Brooke said, no, he's not. Because now we don't trust you at all. It's been too much. It took us an hour to leave the airport because of you, and we don't trust you. He says,
Well, either he's gonna take you to the location that's on your GPS, or you can get out of the car where you're at.
like, I literally feel like a Yanla. Excuse me? Brooke was like, okay, fine. Pull the car over. So we pull over. Because honestly, at this point too, I'm ready to just be out of this moving vehicle with this strange man who's not taking us to where we need to be in this hot car, okay? Let's just get out. It's like 7 o'clock p.m. The sun doesn't set until about 8:30 there. So the sun is about to start setting. It's getting dark. By the time we got to our actual location, the sun has set. So, y'all. So he pulls the car over and we get out of the car. But he doesn't want to pop the trunk. Now we're in the middle of fucking Cancun. In the middle of nowhere on a dirt road, you guys. Not knowing where we are. One GPS signal working, thank goodness. We have no way of contacting another form of transportation. There's no Uber, there's no Lyft.
Okay. Cool. We just gonna get out of the car, dude.
Our stuff is still in the trunk of his car. Brooke is holding on to this $40 for dear life. And I'm like laughing now, but at the time it wasn't funny.
You didn't deliver a service, you're not getting this $40.
And I'm trying to get him to open the trunk. And he's like, no, I can't go back there without the $40. And he's like really not wanting to open it in the trunk. Yo, open the trunk. Like, give us our stuff. We get in buck. And he finally opens the trunk. Brooke is like, you're not getting this $40. You didn't deliver a service. And rewinding everything back, this man is crazy. We don't know what he's doing. It's $40. Brooke, give him the money. He knows our address. The way he scared our driver off at the airport was like a whole nother thing. The lady that worked at the airport who had a gun was like scared of him. And this man almost just tried to kidnap us. Give him the $40 because we don't want any problems. We don't want no problems. So she gives him the money and like he opens the trunk, we get our stuff out. And he drives off, finally, whoo, yay, out of our hair. So now we're in our summer best sundresses, bodycon dress, crop top situation. In the middle of Cancun, on a dirt road at 7 p.m. with our suitcases, walking. We can walk back to that Subway gas station because that's something that we recognize. We can call Tom from there and figure it out. We're walking, these men on the side of the road whistling at us. It was a lot, y'all. It was so much. I was so on edge. I just remember when we finally got to the Subway, we were shaking. Okay, we made it. But we still don't know where we are. We got to the Subway. I'm on the phone with Tom.
Yo, we're stranded.
Explaining the situation to him. And he's like, what the? He's freaking out. So he's like, I'm sending the driver. Give me the address. We're looking around. There's no address. We're literally in the middle of nowhere. the subway counter and I'm trying to speak broken Spanish. Brooke and I put our minds together.
Nombre de calle.
We just need the address. He gives us the address. I was so nervous that I had typed it into my phone, I had deleted it, so we had to go through that whole process again. I gave it to Tom. He sent the driver and he was like, don't get in the car with anybody unless he says my name. There are men like staring at us through the subway window. And honestly, if we had made it back to the airport, I would have gotten on that plane and come right the back. I would not have been there for the rest of the trip. If we had made it back to the airport, I would have booked a flight and gotten out of there. So anyways, we're still in the subway. The driver finally gets there. He comes in. Oh, you're with Tom. Oh my God, thank God. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh my God. He's so nice. Completely different vibe. Like, so sweet. He looks at us and he goes, where was he taking y'all? We don't know. Is there another back route to take us? And he's like, no, there's no other way to go. We were literally on the opposite side of where we were going. That's terrifying, because had we not got that GPS working and had we not really put our minds together, I probably would not be talking to you guys. And that is a terrifying thought. And honestly, if I had been there by myself, I don't know if I would have had the courage to speak up. As we're going to the house, we're passing all the resorts and everything looks familiar. I'm like, oh yeah. We passed by Coco Bongo. I was like, we went to that. It was just a completely different vibe of where we were going, where we had ended up and where we were supposed to be. We got to the house. It was a beautiful house. It was a great trip. So much fun. But we were so shook. There are 2 more groups coming. They're on their flights at this point. So we're like, how are we gonna like warn them? Don't go out of that gate until the driver is already there, and don't talk to anybody on the way out. There was one of our friends, he was kind of arriving alone. We get in touch with him and he was like, hey, so I just went through the exit and there's this guy telling me to take a car with him. And we're like,
No! Abort mission! Run! Do not talk to him. Get away from him. Don't acknowledge him. Do not get into that car.
he ended up getting to the house fine. It was great. Group 5 ended up getting in fine. It was fine. We ended up having a good weekend. I needed plenty of tequila shots immediately following that, though, let me just say. So that was how we almost got kidnapped in Mexico. And I just wanted to say that this could happen literally anywhere, to anybody. This was not a Mexico exclusive event. Like, this could happen literally anywhere to anyone. So you just have to be vigilant. You have to use your minds. Be brave enough to speak up. If your gut is speaking to you and is saying, don't do this, don't do it, okay? There's always another solution to the problem. With that being said, it's easier for me to tell it in a like mildly comedic way now, but this is a serious situation. I'm sure there are other people who didn't survive, and that's very scary to think about. So just be vigilant, be careful, y'all. Like, just use your brain, okay? Speak up. So yeah, if y'all like the story, want to join the family, subscribe, give this a thumbs up. And also, I'm very active on my other social media platforms, so if you would like to follow me there, shameless plug, here they are. I'm very active on Instagram, okay? If you want to keep up with what's going on in my world, then follow me there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.
They say Mike's about to blow though. Tell me something that I don't know. With the crowd bouncing like bogles, you can come on the tour bus, just please no photo.